Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. Sexually frustrated male dolphins gang rape humans. Aircraft toilets can suck out and prolapse your rectum. 16 psi will crush a human testicle. If you can smell it, it's inside your nose. A gamma ray blast could kill us at any moment in time. Hundreds of pirate attacks occur each year but go undocumented. Koala bears can give you chlamydia. Cockroaches live 9 days without their heads. The Island of Dolls is claimed to be one of the most haunted places in Mexico. If you die around a cat, they will likely start eating you in less than 24 hours. It begins with your eyes and cheeks. Comment on the disturbing facts that will ruin your life. Baby chicks, while very sweet, are often grinded up. In many large factories, if they're baby roosters, they're just tossed into a grinder. Pretty gross. Did you know that in the United States alone, every year, around 2,500 people die from using right-handed equipment that were originally left-handed? Sucks to be left-handed. George Bush Sr. was the only man to survive after his plane was shot down in World War II by Japanese soldiers. Out of the 9 men that were cannibalized and eaten on by Japanese soldiers, Bush was somehow the only one to survive. Hopefully you like boogers, because Inuit mothers actually suck the snot out of their baby's nose. Nasty. Did you know there's actually 200 corpses right now on Mount Everest? Due to the body's elevation, they're actually left up there and perfectly preserved to the extreme climate and temperatures. They're used as guide points for climbers and hikers. Comment and let me know which fact disturbs you.
Mary Celeste. In 1867, a beautiful ship named the Mary Celeste left the coast of New York. The captain was a man named Benjamin Briggs, and he brought his family and crew to transport 1,700 barrels of alcohol to Italy. They never made it to their destination. The boat was found floating safely in the Atlantic Ocean, off the Azores Islands, on December 5, 1872. This did not look like a pirate attack, because nothing was stolen and all of the paper documents were still on board. The only thing missing was the people. Comment below.
You're blowing up my phone.
This is why you should stay out of the woods. On a beautiful fall morning, a man was heading to his tree stand to get ready for a long day of hunting. He quickly turns and sees something watching him in the woods. This large hairy creature begins violently pursuing this man, chasing him through the woods. Just barely in the nick of time, he makes it to his truck and peels out of there. Follow and comment for part 2. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. Coconuts kill more people than sharks every year. Same with cows. Vending machines are actually twice as likely to kill you than a shark is. France was still executing people via guillotine when the first Star Wars film came out. There are more fake flamingos in the world than real ones. There are more tigers in Texas than the rest of the world. There's enough iron in your body to make a 3-inch nail. Beethoven and George Washington were alive at the same time. In fact, George Washington was in his 40s when Beethoven was born. There are more stars in space than there are grains of sand on every beach on Earth. It rains diamonds on Saturn and Jupiter. A buttload is an actual unit of measurement, equivalent to 126 gallons. Hit the plus sign if you want to learn more facts.
Look at that. And I go between this bush and our fence. It's a pretty narrow area.
Whatever it is, walking around barefoot out here in 20, 30 degree weather. It's not warm. "14 inches from heel to toe."
They're doing it, guys. They're making successful animal hybrids splicing arachnid and goat DNA. Or maybe this is just some sort of mutant creature. Perhaps a deformation? You be the judge. I mean, look at it. I've never seen a goat like that before in my life.
I'm in the river and I'm having a baptism.
Okay, guys, what even is this video? I mean, honestly.
Cecil Hotel. In 1962, long-term residents began to refer to the Cecil Hotel, the suicide, and it was a well-deserved term. The first death at the hotel, a man by the name of William Mackay, was ruled natural in 1926. However, the hotel's first suicide occurred the following year. Percy Ormond Cook, 52 years old, committed suicide by shooting himself in the head. This was the beginning of a tragic trend in suicide attempts and suicides at the hotel. Overdosing, cutting their throats, ingesting poison and jumping from windows or roofs have all been ways that people have ended their lives at the hotel. Grace Magro's suicide has prompted some to question whether it was suicide. She fell from a 9-story high window. Her boyfriend claimed that she was asleep at the time. She fell and became entangled in telephone wires that ripped off the poles. Pauline Otten, who jumped out of a window on the 9th floor, is another horrifying incident. She not only killed herself but also a pensioner who lived below her. 12 of the 16 deaths at the Cecil Hotel are thought to have been suicides also. Comment below.
If you wake up around the hours of 3 a.m., that is commonly known as the witching hour, or the time where the veil between this world and the spiritual world is the thinnest, resulting in a higher number of paranormal encounters and If you see this in the woods, run. One day, Corbin Ramirez was hiking out in the backwoods of Massachusetts. About a mile or so back in the woods, he discovered this lone cabin that looked to be abandoned, and since he was a fan of urban exploration, he decided to explore it further. Upon entering, everything seemed normal. It seemed like a pretty abandoned cabin, but there's something that just felt off about the whole place. Corbin would later report to authorities that he felt watched the entire time he was in there, and even reported at one point he kept hearing this strange, heavy gasping and breathing when something began moving around in the room adjacent to him. What Corbin reported that he saw to the police will terrify you. Coming out of the adjacent room to him was this demonic, strange-looking faceless figure with long claws looking very similar to this. Completely terrified by this sighting, Corbin not only fled the cabin but fled all the mile-plus back to where he came. Corbin did report it to the police, but upon further inspection from the PD and looking back there, they never found the cabin, just empty woods. Was Corbin just simply making this up, or did he truly see something terrifying? Let me know what you think in the comments.
Carlingford Road in North Dublin was a local ill fame when I was just a kid, being notable as the scene of a murder. And then
a young 11-year-old boy was out camping in the woods in Sweden with his family in a trailer in the middle of the forest. Directly behind them was a semi-large hill and a river that ran adjacent to the forest. One night, while lying in bed, he heard a strange noise coming from outside, like something large was moving around. So he peeked out his window, and he saw alongside the forest this strange-looking creature on all fours walking right along the tree line. And he said it wasn't large enough to be a bobcat, nor a wolf, but it looked strange and abnormal. He says this thing is too big to be a bobcat, but not big enough to be a wolf. He says, as he's looking at this creature, it stops and turns its head and looks directly at him as if it knew it had been caught. And he said this thing has
disturbing facts that will ruin your life. A body decomposes 4 times faster in the water than on land. About 153,000 people worldwide die every day. Men who are hung get a death erection, known as rigor erectus. The Zoroastrian Parsi community in India offers its dead to vultures rather than burying or burning them. The Turritopsis dohrnii jellyfish is officially known as the only immortal creature in the world. It lives forever. Left-handed people die 3 years earlier than right-handed people. The catacombs of Paris hold the bones and remains of nearly 6 million people. Mice and rats can spread at least 35 different diseases to humans. These infections include salmonella, hantavirus, and rat bite fever. Babies grow mustaches in the womb that then spread to cover their entire body in the hair, called lanugo. The body hair keeps them warm and also helps regulate body temperature. And don't worry, they shed it for birth. Comment below which...
If kids' drawings were real, easily one of the most creepiest videos I think I've ever looked at. I mean, the one I think terrifies me the most. It's just strange, distorted faces, man.
Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. There used to be real human remains in the Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean ride. There are at least 200 corpses on Mount Everest. There is no physical evidence to say that today is Sunday. We all just have to trust that someone has kept count since the first one ever. The human brain not only named itself, but it also recognized that it named itself, and was surprised when it realized that. No one knows exactly how anesthesia works. Anytime they put you under for a routine operation, there's currently no scientific explanation for why you are unconscious. Hit the plus